Okay, so I'm going to give you a tour of the Phone Karma mobile version of the website, and also show you how to purchase a phone through your mobile device, whether it's an iPhone or it could be an Android. But as long as you can connect to the internet and you have a browser on your phone, you can buy a phone or purchase a phone through it. And you can see I've already set up the Phone Karma shortcut here on my home page of my phone, and I have a training video on the website that explains how to set that up if you don't know how to. And so what you do, just click that or go to phonekarma.com, and this is what everyone sees, whether you're someone who wants to sell their phone or you're an agent, and everyone comes to the same page. So, but the way you get into the agent area is you click menu on the top right here, and there's a little login. So you click login, and one thing I've done on my phone, and I recommend that you do, is set it up so it saves your password and your username. So it'll automatically fill this in for you, because it's just going to save you a lot of time every time you come here and have to enter it in. But if it fills it in for you, you just come here. You saw how it filled it in automatically, and you click submit. Now if you ever lose or forget your password, you'll notice right here it says account and email password reset. That's where you go to reset it. So you click submit, and it's going to actually bring, it says welcome, so that way you know that you're in, but it's going to bring you back to the same page. It looks exactly the same. The only thing that's different is at the bottom here on the footer is there's a new little word. It says agents. So you got about, contact, blog, and agents. So click agents, and that brings you to the agent area of the website, and you'll notice here that there's a big huge green button that says purchase phone. We hope that's the button you'll be using the most, right? So you click that to buy a phone, but you also notice that there's your name, your regional manager's name will be there, and you have this little thing called status, and you can tap to change it. So you just tap it, and it can either make you active or inactive. And what that's for is there's a feature on the website when someone goes onto it that wants to sell their phone, and there's a little thing, an option they can select called get paid today in cash. And so if they select that option, the website is going to put a 25-mile radius around that person, and if there's any agents around that person, you'll get an email notifying you that there's someone in your area that wants to sell a phone. And you can it'll have the person's phone number and contact information, so you'll be able to procure phones through the website. So that's why you probably want to leave it active. Okay, great. So then you go down here and it shows stats, your stats. So that goes over your ledger amount. Right now I have $355 in my ledger. And the way that gets updated is by your regional manager. They're going to transfer you money at the bank, and at the same time they're going to put that same amount into the website to so you know everything lines up and matches. And then as you're buying phones, the website will do the math for you. So you also notice that there's a weekly profit, there's a total profit, total phones, and total sales. And the reason we have sales and phones, there's two different things, right? So you can have a transaction or a sale, and it can have multiple phones on it. So if you have a transaction or a sale that has 5 phones, that sale number will be 1, but your total phones will be 5, if that was your first transaction. Also, you have a price list here that you can print, so you can print that out, or you can have it here right on your phone at any time. And you can do this from a computer as well. And you also have your training videos right there, so you can click that, and it goes over iPhone basic training video, iPhone damages explained, connecting your email to your iPhone. And the reason we have that training video is because of the get paid today in cash. We have to make sure that, actually let me back up. You're going to get a unique Phone Karma email address that'll be yours when you sign up on the website. And so we need to make sure that you can connect that email address to your mobile device. And that's why we have the training video, because we want to make sure that no notifications are missed. That's also where, if there's a price change or update, we send out an email blast to everyone, and it goes to that email address. So you're going to want to know when there's price changes as well. Okay, good. So then there's a hat pack, which goes over how to procure phones from Craigslist and a couple other methods. and it has like sample ads that you can put on Craigslist, and just it's a lot of really great data on how to get phones. So you definitely want to read that and understand it. Right down here is your transaction log, and shows you all the phones that you've purchased. So basically, I have one phone. There's a phone ID 2587. By the way, the phone ID is what the number that you're going to write on the back of the phone. So you're going to get a piece of blue tape and a pen, and you're going to write 2587 on that phone. That way, we keep track of that phone from the minute it enters the system to the minute it leaves the system. We know everything that happened to it. But there's going to be a log here. Also, there's a transaction log for you over here. It shows you that there was a ledger amount transaction. That shows you that you were credited $500, and then that you purchased a phone here. It was a debit of $145, and that's the balance remaining, which is the same balance as up here. Okay, so here I'm going to show you how to buy a phone. So you click the green purchase phone button, and there's only 3 required fields here for the seller information. And by the way, you're never going to hand your phone to the seller and ask him to enter this information. You're going to enter it for him, okay? So there's only 3 required fields. There's first name, city, and state. And you already know 2 of those things, and hopefully you got the guy's first name. The reason you want to get as much information here, and the most important thing besides the first name, is the email address, because it's going to send him a receipt for the phone. And also 6 months or a year down the road, when the new phones come out, we can also compile an email list for you of all the people that you've purchased phones from. And we can send that out to you so you can try to follow up with them and see if they want to sell their phone if they're going to be upgrading. So I'm just going to put the minimum amount of information here just for time purposes. And I'm not even going to, for this example, I'm not going to put an email address, but I stress that you try to get the information. And we know that you're going to be dealing with people who are on Craigslist, and so getting information from them might be difficult, but you can say things like, I need to be able to prove that this is not a lost or stolen phone. You can say something like, I need this information for tax purposes at the end of the year. I'm a legitimate business. I do my taxes. I got to have this information. You know, whatever you want to say is fine. Okay, you click submit. It takes you to the next page here, which is the phone data. This has your phone model, carrier, gigabytes, phone condition, the IMEI number, MEID number. Now the training videos that I showed you earlier go over what these numbers are and how to find them in the phone. But on every single phone, it's basically a 14 to 16 digit number, and you're going to need to enter that number into this field right here every single time you buy a phone. And each number is unique, so there's never the same number. All right, so we're going to just start entering in the information here. AT&T iPhone 4, 8 gigabyte phone, and we'll call it fully functional. And we're just going to put a number in for today for training purposes, make it quick. And then you're going to put in the agreed upon price. So you go, yeah, you know, the guy goes, oh, you tell him you're going to buy the phone for $100. He says yes. That's where you put the number. Hit amount paid. Now it's going to bring you to this screen. This is sort of like an order confirmation summary screen, right? So this is the first time you're going to show the guy your phone, and you're going to say, okay, look, Gabe, San Jose, California, just, you know, can you double check all the information to make sure it's correct? Ask him specifically to look at the phone to make sure that he agrees that this is the correct condition, model, gigabytes for the phone. Because if you got that wrong, then the only person who can change that later on is your regional manager, or us as well, when we're checking the phone in our warehouse. He doesn't need to necessarily check the IMEI number, but if he does, great. Okay, good. So now also, let's say he has additional phones that he wants to sell, there's an additional phones button. So sell additional phones. You click that, and it'll bring you back to the phone data so that you can put your additional phone in. Also, the website's smart enough to know that if you select something that doesn't exist, like a 64 gigabyte iPhone 4, which doesn't exist, it should tell you that, hopefully, if everything is working right. No, I'm just kidding. It'll tell you, you'll see the error message pop up. one second. So now there should be an error message that pops up here. It says this phone does not exist. Provide a correct phone configuration. So it's smart enough to know that. Click amount paid. I changed it to 32 gigabytes. That's how I was able to go through. So iPhone 4, 32 gigabyte. So now there's a total of 2 phones on this transaction. And then you have them read this at the bottom, or you read it to them. You say, I need you to click the green accept button. You go, by pressing accept, I agree to this offer and confirm that this is not a lost or stolen phone. And he goes, yep. He clicks the button, and you're done. Now, if you had an email address in there, the email is going to be sent to him for his receipt, and you're done. You shake hands and you walk away. You'll notice that the way you get back to your agent dashboard, you'll notice there's this little tiny word at the bottom again called Agents. Click that, and it brings you back to your agent dashboard. Now, all your information's been updated, right? So you now have 2 sales for a total of 3 phones, because there was already a sale in there when we got here. You just purchased 2 more phones, and tells you your ledger is $75. You now have $125 that you can put in your pocket. And down here, it shows you the phones that you just purchased along with your phone IDs. And you'll notice that there's like a color differentiation. So see how this 25 phone ID number 2592 and 2593, they both have the same color. That's because they're part of the same transaction. The gray one is different. So if you have 10 phones, they're all going to be, let's say there was 10 phones on this transaction, they would all be white. And then also when you take this phone and you send it to your regional manager, you would change the status to ship to RW. So you would come back in here and change these over when you ship these phones or give these phones to your regional manager. And also, if you want to look here, you can see that the phone transactions are in your transaction log with the ID numbers and the dates. So you can always do like an audit on your ledger to find out. The appointments, that's not 100% up and running yet, but it will be soon. For now, you have sales transaction log. I hope this video was helpful. And if you have any questions, you can always contact your regional guy, manager, and they can contact us if they can't answer your questions. And just buy lots of phones. Thank you.